Australia is calling for an inquiry and proposing independent review into the coronavirus pandemic. On April 17, the Home Affairs Minister said Prime Minister Scott Morrison is urging top allies, US, France, Germany, and New Zealand to back an overhaul of the World Health Organization. He wants to give the WHO the power to send a team of investigators into a country to determine the factors behind a disease outbreak. Let's listen in.
Well, my message on the latter is the same for all nations. And what I'm simply seeking and advocating for is two things. And the Foreign Minister set this out in her opinion piece this week. We will need an independent inquiry that looks at what has occurred here so we can learn the lessons. Now, there will be debates about the timing of that. We are in the middle of dealing with the pandemic right now, and I understand some of the hesitations that have been expressed about the timing of that particular inquiry. But Australia would cooperate with such an inquiry. Any member of the World Health Organization, I think, that should be something that should be understood, and that's part, I think, of your responsibility, or should be anyway, in participating in such an organisation. The other thing that can happen, and you can do two things at once, and that is to look at things that can be done to improve the safety of the world more readily. Now, people are aware of my view about having the sort of authorities that would enable independent public health inspectors to be able to go into areas where a virus of potential pandemic implications can be understood quickly, because that information undoubtedly can save lives. Now, you'll know that with weapons inspectors that people access that because those who sign up to the weapons inspectors arrangements sign up to that. If they're in that situation, then those inspectors would come in. Now, I'd expect the same arrangements in terms of what I'm suggesting about how that could be done. They don't have a roving commission to go anywhere they want in the world. If you're going to be a member of a club like the World Health Organization, there should be obligations and responsibilities attached to that. And look, that is why you would collectively band together in a global organisation like that, to protect the world's health. And I would think that the ability to understand what's happening in a particularly dangerous virus that has the potential to do what this virus has done to the world, people would want to know that information sooner rather than later. So look, we will, advocating anything and pushing anything globally is ambitious at the best of times. But that doesn't mean Australia shouldn't stand up for these.
The Prime Minister has been severely critical of the WHO for its handling of the COVID-19 after the WHO criticized Australia for closing its borders to China and took 2 weeks longer to declare a pandemic. He has also challenged its decision to support China reopening wet markets, which were the likely cause of the coronavirus. He also said if the world had been alerted to the gravity of this virus earlier, it may have saved hundreds and thousands of lives. Washington is the biggest contributor to the WHO, but President Trump is freezing funding, alleging that the organization mismanaged and covered up the spread of the virus.